Now that I beat Brock, the next thing I had to do was make Misty's gym, and I'm going to need a lot of resources again, so I need to start getting to work. I started by getting some terracotta and white terracotta, but at some point when I was doing this, a wild crystal just started attacking me. I tried to trigger a Pokemon battle with it, but I just kept pressing the wrong button. I was supposed to press R, but I kept pressing right click. So the crystal just ended up killing me.
Oh, not here!
For some reason, I destroyed the bed that I was supposed to respawn at, so I went all the way back to my original base, which is not really a base. What made it worse was that I didn't have Swellow or Kadabra with me, so I had to walk all the way back. After walking for such a long time, I finally made it back. To avoid what happened, I immediately got Swellow and Kadabra from my PC, and then I went back to where I died so I could get my stuff back from my gravestone. The crystal was still there, so I had to be careful. I tried to fight the crystal again, but its level was much higher than my Pokemon, so I just ended up outspeeding and one-shotting my Starmie.
Surf should do it.
Oh my gosh! I didn't have anyone else that I thought had a chance against it, so I just ended up walking away and focused on gathering resources. Thankfully, since the crystal was still considered in battle, I could just collect what I needed without being attacked. On day 46, I just kept getting more terracotta until I had enough. Then I teleported back to my base, and then I started making the white concrete that I needed. At some point, a Pavilion was trying to attack me, so I tried to battle it, but most of my Pokemon weren't a good matchup for it. My only super effective option, which was Swellow, was my only way to get around, and I didn't want to risk it getting knocked out. So I thought about running, but for some reason I changed my mind, and I just decided to try. Swellow got it to like half its HP, and then it healed up with Draining Kiss. I switched to Shelter, which got knocked out, then to Starmie, who was able to defeat it. After this, I got some blue sandstone, which is one of the blocks added by the biomod I was using. Next, I needed quartz because I needed to make the pool in the gym. So I made another portal and then I went on another. I went around getting as much quartz as I could, but along the way, I found some bone blocks, which were good because I couldn't really kill skeletons in this mod pack. On day 47, I gathered more quartz. At some point, a ghastly attacked me, but I was able to fly away safely.
We're leaving.
Another time, a Ponyta attacked me, and it set me on fire. I almost died, but since Swellow was able to trigger the battle in time, it didn't die, and so Starmie was able to defeat it. I kept exploring until at some point I found a Fuecoco, but since I didn't bring any Pokeballs with me, for some reason, I couldn't catch it. I tried to go near the Fuecoco, but an animal snuck up behind me and killed me.
No!
Which took away the small chance I already had at catching the Fuecoco. Since I still hadn't set my respawn point, I spawned again at my old base. But this time, since I had Kadabra, I could just teleport back to my base. I got some Pokeballs and set my respawn point at one of the villager beds. Then I went back to the place that I died.
Please. Oh, Fuecoco's still here.
Apparently, the Fuecoco was still there. The problem was that Tanamo was also still
No.
there.
This one's here too.
So I had to knock it out first with my Starmie, and then I could catch the Fuecoco.
Yes!
On day 48, I just got more quartz, and while doing this, at some point a Magmite just attacked me, which kinda caught me off guard because I didn't notice the aggressive clouds that the Pokemon usually have when they were attacking. Sometime after that, a Ghastly attacked me, and after defeating it, it dropped the Gastier. Gastier, which I actually really needed because I needed one to make a healing machine. I thought I wouldn't be able to get one because Gats didn't spawn in this mod pack, but apparently Ghastlies can drop them now. After getting enough quartz, I teleported back to the base and I crafted the healing station with the Gastier that I got. I then set out to look for an ocean monument since I also needed Prismarine for the build. So for the entire day, I just kept searching for the ocean monument and I just kept flying for such a long time. Actually, at some point I thought I wouldn't be able to find it, and that I maybe should have gotten an Ocean Explorer map first. But at some point, I was able to find one.
I was getting worried I'd never find one.
I was worried that I had to deal with the Guardians and mining fatigue, then I remembered, again, hostile mobs didn't spawn in this mod pack. I mined some prismarine bricks and sea lanterns for the light sources, then I teleported back when I was done. Back at the base, I crafted what I needed. By day 50, I had almost everything that I needed to build Misty's gym, but before starting, I planted a spruce tree first and chopped it down because I was running out of wood. Then I started clearing out space underground for the gym. Now that the space was cleared by day 51, I could start building. By the end of day 52, I finally finished the gym. I put the share zone so I can access the gym from the entrance. Then I started adding the platforms of the gym. I started filling the pool with water, then I realized that I wanted to put the water first before I put the platform so that I could see how it would look properly. So I removed the platforms and started filling the pool again. Well, it wasn't filling up evenly, and I spent so much time just getting to get the water to flow properly. On day 54, I realized that I could just use kelp to make it easier. When you place kelp in water, the flowing blocks actually turn into source blocks. And it worked! The pool now filled up properly. I really should have thought about this earlier. Now that the pool was filled up, I added the platforms back, then placed fences as stilts under the platforms. The roof looked too low compared to my earlier gym for rock, so I raised it. Then I added a water symbol to the back. And placed some sea lanterns for the building. But it was still too dim, so instead of putting more lights, I decided that I would just make the brightness higher for when I had the gym battle. On day 56, I covered the roof of the build with dirt so that you couldn't see the white concrete that was on top. But it was at this point that something bad happened. I was playing until around day 68 and was preparing to battle Misty when suddenly the game crashed. My computer apparently ran out of space because of the recording, and when I booted up the game, it was corrupted. This was really discouraging for me because I already came so far. I caught like more than 120 Pokemon already. Thankfully though, I made it back off of the world at day 56, which meant I didn't lose everything, but I had to record 3 whole hours of gameplay again. The good thing was that I already knew what to expect this time, so I didn't have to waste time on certain things that I did before. For example, I wanted to get a Thunderbolt TM for Jolteon. In this mod pack, you can actually make TMs using a TM machine, where you can save moves that Pokemon already have to a TM or TR. Then you can use that TM to teach another Pokemon that move. Since Pikachu and Raichu were the only ones that learned Thunderbolt naturally, that seemed possible for me to catch, I went looking for them. But since I couldn't find them anywhere, at some point I settled for just getting a Discharge TM instead. But it ended up being a waste of time because Jolteon didn't even learn Discharge via TM.
Why?
So this time I just skipped doing all that. When I opened the backup save, I made a bunch of chests since I had problems with my chests getting too full last time. But I know that this is really messy, so I knew that I had to make a better solution for my storage at some point. Then I took down the sugarcane and bamboo because I didn't really need them anymore, and they were blocking my view. I then planted the apricorn sprouts that I've been getting over time.
Okay. And then
In the last save, quick walls actually saved me a lot of time, so I wanted to make more of them. Since quick balls need yellow and blue apricorns, I used bone meal on the blue apricorn tree that I had until I got a blue apricorn sprout. For context, if you harvest an apricorn, there's a 12.5% chance that it's going to drop a sprout. But apparently this didn't apply to me because I got so many apricorns and it took so long just to get one sprout. I did the same thing with a yellow apricorn tree that I found behind the gym, but this time it went so much faster. I just put a few bone meal and it already gave me a yellow apricorn sprout. Since I had a lot of blue apricorns from last time, I kept going until I had enough yellow apricorns to match the blue apricorns that I had, so that it would be proportional and I could make more quick balls. But because of this, I ended up with getting a lot more sprouts than I had the blue ones. Then I planted the sprouts that I got and made a bunch of quick balls. Okay. Before switching, I wanted to use up my leftover Pokeballs first so that they had some use before I switched to quick balls.
Okay.
Then I went to the jungle to catch grass types for battling Misty. And on the way, I found some blue mint leaves, which you can use to make nature mints so that you can change the nature of your Pokemon. But I needed to get the other colors to get the natures that I wanted. On the way to the jungle, I found these Pokemon towns, which I actually found first in my previous save. Before finding us in my last save, I really thought that I wouldn't be able to find any Pokemon towns because I was exploring for such a long time already and I wasn't finding any. So it was a good thing to find them. But this time, since I was already kind of frustrated from losing the last save, I didn't really feel like exploring them because I already explored them last time. Maybe I'll go through them again sometime in the future so that I could get the loot. In one of the villages, I found a Pichu. Remember I said that in my previous save I was looking for a Pikachu? So it was good to find a Pichu because maybe I could evolve it into a Pikachu and get the Thunderbolt TM for Jolteon. The problem was that I needed Pichu to get 160 friendship to evolve, which was going to take a really long time. Still, I decided I would put Pichu in my party just in case I could build its friendship up over time. On day 57, I caught a bunch of Pokemon. At some point, I went back to my base, then tried to clear up my inventory and put Pichu in my party. While I was there, I also caught a Pachirisu. I then headed towards the jungle again. Along the way, I got sidetracked and caught a bunch of Pokemon in the Badlands.
Catching that.
Okay. By the way, do you want to see whenever I catch a Pokemon, or do you want me to just skip over them and only show some of them? Next, I found a ruined portal that I actually found in my last save too. Last time actually I couldn't find the chest, so for some reason I thought that it didn't have one, but this time I found the chest and I got the loot. Before leaving, I caught a Maractus and then I headed for the jungle again. There I found a Gimmighoul tower, but since I already had a Gimmighoul, I just knocked it out and it dropped a bunch of coins, which I think you need to use to evolve it into a Goldengo, but I'm not sure. Then I registered the Waystone and went back to catching more Pokemon.
Nice. Look at that. Nice.
So I have this strategy when I try to catch a Pokemon with a quick ball. Then if it doesn't work, I leave the battle, then try again so that it would be counted as a turn 1 again. Since quick balls have a boosted catch rate on turn 1. But apparently there was a limit to how much I could do this since at some point this Cacturn just disappeared.
Oh. Catch this. Let's try to catch it. Nice. Okay. Nice. You too. Nice. Okay. Nice.
After some time, I went back to my base. I was going through my chests when a ninja snuck up behind me and nearly killed me. Good thing I was able to trigger the battle in time, so I didn't die and I was able to catch it. I should probably build an actual base at some point so that this doesn't happen.
Okay.
Maybe someday. I evolved Sirat into Nuzleaf, Oddish into Gloom, and Gloom into Falcon. I was planning to evolve Nuzleaf into Shiftry, but I realized that it didn't have the Chlorophyll ability.
That's not chlorophyll.
I really wanted this ability because it doubles the speed of Pokemon in Sun, which I was going to set up using Torkoal. I wanted Pokemon with this ability because I learned on a previous server when I was playing with friends that Misty's Frogadier was really fast, and most grass types aren't fast enough to deal with it, so I needed to get another Seedot with the right ability. I went to the jungle to find another Seedot, but I couldn't find one anywhere. On day 60, when I was checking the Pokedex, I found that Seedot didn't actually spawn in the jungle, it spawned in forests.
They're in forests? I thought they were in jungles.
So I just wasted so much time. I teleported back and went to the forest near my base, and I finally found a Seedot with chlorophyll.
What do I have to do? Okay.
I then evolved Weepinbell into Victreebel and Seedot into Shiftry. I was supposed to evolve Pichu into Pikachu so that I could make a Thunderbolt TM, but I just gave up because it was taking so long to build this friendship. At some point though, for some reason, either I stopped recording or lost the footage of this part, but from what I could gather, I made a TM machine, which you can use to make TMs. And since I wanted to teach Swellow the move Facade, which worked really well with its Guts ability, because they both increased attack when they were under a status condition. I caught a Squawkabilly because it could learn Facade naturally. Then I saved Facade to a TM and taught it to Swellow. By the next footage I had, I was already on day 61 when I was already starting to train my Pokemon. On day 62, after training for a while, Squirtle reached level 27 and learned Shell Smash, one of the best setup moves in Pokemon. I could now also evolve Squirtle into Wartortle because I was just waiting for Squirtle to learn Shell Smash. Then I reviewed my team's movesets to make sure that I had the best moves that I could teach them at the time. I crafted some TMs to teach my Pokemon other moves. I wanted to make a Heat Rock, which is an item that extends the duration of Sun, which would be good for Torkoal's Drought ability, which sets up Sun. To make it, I needed dripstone blocks, so I went to find a dripstone cave. The dripstone cave I found ended up being underwater, so I needed to keep going to a magma block for air when I was trying to mine the dripstone blocks. At some point I didn't realize that I didn't put Swellow back in its Pokeball, so it ended up drowning. Then when I was going back, I was supposed to use Teleport with Kadabra, and I realized I didn't bring Kadabra. On top of that, I couldn't fly either because I didn't have a Swellow with me anymore either. So again, I had to walk all the way back to my base. But on the way, I found a White Mint, which I could use to make a Serious Mint, which makes Pokemon's nature neutral, which would be useful for some Pokemon. Then I caught a Machop.
I'm just gonna
Then a Teddiursa. After walking for some time, Swellow recovered and I was able to fly back. Then I crafted a Heat Rock and I put it on Torkoal. On day 63, I made Serious Mints for Shiftry and Swellow since their natures were kind of making them worse.
And I used this on Shiftry.
Then after that, I went back to training.
Okay.
At some point, I ended up going against Faulkner, a gym leader from Johto. Unlike the Kanto gym leaders, they didn't drop gym badges or increase the level cap. So they were more of a mini-boss, so I didn't make gyms for them. Maybe I'll make gyms for them in another series, but not here. Since my team was already over-leveled compared to his, Wartortle just swept his entire team.
And I think that's it. Thank you.
Then I used Mareep to teach Wartortle Takedown, which gives it a decent neutral move against water types. I also gave Wartortle a Serious Mint since its nature was lowering its attack stat.
Okay.
Then I continued training. On day 64, I made a Choice Band, which increases a Pokemon's physical attack by 50%, but like you're locked to only using one move. So I put it on Victreebel because I would probably only be using Power Whip anyways. At some point I finished training and all of my Pokemon reached level 27. Then to activate Swellow's Guts ability, I needed it to either be poisoned or burnt, so I tried to get a Fletchling to burn it, but it wasn't using any fire type moves, so I moved on. At some point, I found an Oddish, which was able to poison Swellow.
We're leaving.
I didn't realize though that the poison would continue out of battle, and Swellow fainted before I could notice his HP was going down, so I'll need to try this again later. On day 65, I used a lead to drag Misty inside the gym. I tried to get her to stay on the platform, but she kept getting off.
There we go.
No! No!
path for you.
After a lot of effort, I finally got her to stay. With Misty set up, I got Swallow poisoned again, but this time I kept feeding Swallow iron berries so that it wouldn't faint. This meant I could now challenge Misty to a gym battle. I re-entered the gym and started the battle. I started the battle with Torkoal setting up Sun with his drought ability. Misty's Frogadier then used Flip Turn, switching to Starmie. Then I used Explosion, which gave Victreebel a clean switch in.
Victreebel? Whip.
Then I used Power Whip to knock out Starmie. At this point, I realized that maybe I over-prepared for the battle, because Frogadier, one shot.
This might be a sweep.
So, one shot.
Wait,
Lantern, one shot.
I think I just sweeped Misty.
Victreebel swept Misty's entire team without even letting them attack once. Okay, the battle was so short that it felt almost funny.
Thanks for the badge.
I trained for so many days, and I made my team the best it could be, only for Victreebel to sweep the entire gym. So to balance the future battles, I decided I wouldn't be using Choice Band or Choice Scarf because it might be too overpowered unless I really need them.
Then I put the badge in the badge box, which adds to my collection. Cascade badge to the badge box. If we check the trainer card, our new level cap is level 34.
Now that I beat Misty, I'll need to prepare for Lieutenant Surge next. If you're wondering how I got the Pokemon to stay on the platform, this is how.